Hello, mysterious person behind the screen. Primeval Series 3 in this rather nice complete series set, actually. Let's take this out. So you've got a nice slip cover with the new team there. And then embossed G-Rex, Primeval Complete Series 3. On the back you just got some cool creatures that feature in the series. And then here you've got this really nice digipack, which is like digibook, sorry, with an alternate cover image. Some episodes on the back with Danny in a jeep with a crowbar, which opens up to house the discs with a really nice panoramic view in the back of episode 8 with the team battling the various insect creatures there, and on the back it has the full picture of Danny and the Terrorbirds. So I actually really like this this set, to be honest, and I remember it came out a week before the finale went out, so you can see how the series finished before it actually aired, because the scheduling got messed around with because of Britain's Got Talent, I think, at the time, so they couldn't change the release date, so it just came out. And I remember this came with stickers. So anyway, yeah, Primeval Series 3, aka the series where everyone got haircuts. Seriously. Cutter's got this weird like mullet that doesn't suit him. Jenny's is now longer, as is Lester's. Connor's is shorter. Abby's gone for this sort of punk thing. She changes her hair every single series. Yeah, it's weird. Also, I always used to think of this as my favourite series, but now I do think Series 2 is my favourite. Why? Because watching it, it felt like everything was coming to an end. Because this is the one where a lot of the original cast are leaving. In fact, by the end, the only original cast members left are Helen, Lester, Abby and Connor. So that's only 4 left. It's been replaced by a new team. Not quite as drastic change as when it comes to Series 4, when it's an entirely new team and the only characters left are Abby, Connor and Lester. But it's still a change, and I sort of felt like the first 2 episodes, because we got Cutter dying, which is just, I think, probably the best scene of the series. He acts his heart out of that. It's great, as does Andrew Lee Potts. I love that the scene. I think it's a really great piece of television. We got Jenny leaving in episode 5. We had Stephen leave in episode 7 of series 2. So there's just this sort of streak where loads of people are leaving or dying. It's just like, it feels weird. I like my original team of series 1 and 2. It's nice. I like those folks. But I feel like even though Stephen's not in it because he's dead, his presence is very much felt. Because like when Cutter meets his clone, when Helen clones Cutter, he immediately goes, "Please tell me you didn't do one of these for Stephen." So, you know, it's still very much on their mind. When Lester is introducing Captain Becker, he says, "And be careful, we don't want another Stephen Hart on our hands." So it's clear the first death of the team has affected them a lot, as a group, and how they handle each other. Episode 1, the beginning of it, is very much reintroducing all the characters. And speaking of Captain Becker, I like Becker. I mean, I used to think he was like one of my favourite characters. I find him, on this recent rewatch anyway, I find him a bit of a, I don't know, I just don't really like him that much. I don't know, it's weird. I used to like him, and I still like him as a character, just something about him, especially like, he's just it's something that really grinds my gears is in episode 8, where he gets pissed off at Abby and goes, "Well, we can't, can we, Abigail?" And it's just like, alright. We got Sarah, who's a bit of a bland character, to be honest. She's a bit dull. She's just, she was in Sarah Jane Adventures. She played the traitor in Death of the Doctor. She, like, faked the Doctor's death with the Shansheath and was, like, in league with him. So, yeah. Yeah, she's very bland. She's a bit dull. I didn't really take to her character. I never have, in this series, to be honest. And we've also got probably the main change after Cutter leaves. Danny Quinn comes in, and although I will always prefer Cutter because Cutter's Cutter, his arc was so interesting, and you know the first 3 series is very much around his arc and his legacy, and what it was about with Helen and that. His arc, you know, is infinitely more interesting. But Danny's such a fun character. He's a really cool, just a cool new leader, and I just love how he's sort of a rebel. No one really wants him around at first, and then Lester just goes, Gwyn's the perfect candidate to take over from Cutter. So yeah. Side note: they rebuild after Helen blows the ark to smithereens. They rebuild it quite quickly, don't they? Literally, the next episode is under construction, so that's fine. There's scaffolding everywhere, and then the episode after that is fine. It's rebuilt again, pretty much. I mean, there's still some rebuilding to do with the scanner and stuff, but with the detector. But it's pretty much fully rebuilt. So this time I thought, yeah, that's a bit shaky. But you know, we don't know how much time passes between 4 and 5 anyway, so but it's not implied to be that very long though, because the reason Jenny leaves is because she finds the Claudia Brown thing in Cutter's belongings, so presumably if they were going through Cutter's belongings, it must be like a week after he died. I don't know. Yes, Series 3 contains the first episode I ever watched of Primeval, the one that started it all, and I think that's why I always thought of it as my favourite, because it contains episode 4 with the G-Rex. What's it say? The largest anomaly the team has ever counted opens up as the largest anomaly the team has yet encountered opens up at an airport, and a Gigantosaurus comes through as they battle to save the crew of a 747. Danny Quinn turns up unexpectedly and helps them along the way. Let's talk some creatures. I think this is probably the most variety out of all the series when it comes to creatures. I mean, you've got the G-Rex, you've got the insect things, you've got the predators coming back, you've got the terror birds, you've got the what's on here? You've got the Dictodons, you've got the mushroom fungus monster thing. There's the predator there again. You've got the what am I thinking of? But the Dracorex. You've got him. You've got that weird gremlin elf creature in the I always think of it as a haunted house episode of Primeval, episode 2, where he's just in that house. That little camouflage gremlin thing that's absolutely terrifying. That scared me to death when I was younger, for sure. It really that freaked me out so much. How that bit where Abby is looking through the window, she draws the curtain, and then right behind her there, that thing's there going, and then she hears a noise, so it scarpers. But that always really freaked me out. The way it was just there, and there's that shot where it pans up to the chimney as well, and it's in the chimney. Oh, episode 2 is really great. I'm not so keen on episode 1 because, you know, it's just very much setting up the series and the tone of the series and the arc and everything. But episode 2 is really great. You've got some good moments with Connor and Jenny investigating on their own, investigating the kid who went into the haunted house. I'm just going to call it a haunted house because I know it's not ghosts in there, but it's essentially a haunted house. Going in to investigate the kid who was in there years before, who first saw this creature who had come out into the anomaly. So you've got them two going off. Connor gets arrested, which is hilarious because he's just what is it? Because Danny arrests him. This is when you don't like Danny. This is when you think Danny's a bit of a dick. When he's like, you can't keep me in here. I know my rights. Really, name one. I have the right to remain silent. Right. Well, you just broke that then, didn't you? And he's just like, yeah. And he just goes back into his cell and sits down. This is funny. Also, Connor doing his impression of Cutter is just... he just cracks me up when I think Jenny says, oh no, what do you think Cutter would say if he were here? And Connor just goes, oh, someone like, of course I was right. That's very funny. But yeah, episode 2 is great. Episode 3 could very, very possibly be my favourite episode of the whole show. Episode 3 is just... because it starts off as an innocent one, where, you know, the Dons are in the hospital, it's quite goofy, Cutter has to deliver a baby, there's that bit where the woman goes, have you ever delivered a baby before? To Abby, and she just goes, no, but I've done a baby giraffe, and how different can they be, really? And she just, It's great, great that. Then it turns dark, and in the last scene, you've got Cutter. Helen Cutter, launching an assault on the Ark with all the clones of the cleaners, which has been set up last season. And I was just like, oh, it's coming together. It's like this culmination of everything. And she just comes in, launches an assault on the Ark, holds Lester at gunpoint. You get that weird clone of Cutter. I'm never sure what to think of that. I'm never sure to think it's a bit too sci-fi for it. But whatever, it's cool. You got the clone's redemption at the end when he goes, save yourself, and blows everything up. You've got the team working together to try and edit the audio so it sounds like Helen's going, stop, do nothing, obey my voice, which is just like, it's so cool. And then it culminates in Cutter dying, which is just, it's gut-wrenching, it really is. In the last, admittedly, it probably wasn't a good idea to kill him off in the 3rd episode. That feels like finale stuff there, but, no, it's so good, and the camera pans up, and Jenny's just like, oh no, I was going to tell him something. And the camera pans up through the smoke, and then the credits. Great. Episode 4, as I said, I mentioned before, you've got episode 3, you've got that really annoying journalist who made a very, very, brief appearance in Series 2. Mick, his name is, or something, Mick Harper. And he comes in, and he's just being annoying, and then after episode 4, thank God, he buggers off after that, because Dinosaur eats Nigel Marvin! That was really random and weird. Then episode 5, you got that awesome episode with the fungus and infecting people. And there's that, I love that shot. The special effects, the CGI is improved in Series 3 for sure. It's still very dodgy and dated, but for a series that's 10 years... Is this 10 years? No. When was Series 3 airing? 2009. So, 8 years old. It holds up pretty well, like when the team were in the series with the flamethrowers, and one of the soldiers just turns and the flame lights up the creature's eyes. That looks really good, and there's this really shot when the guy who gets infected, the billionaire, he's walking through, and then slowly he morphs into the creature and starts walking like the creature, and it's in one shot. It's just like, it's really well done. It really is. Great episode. Jenny almost gets infected. It's like climbing up her face. She gets frozen as it goes down her face, and then she almost dies. And it's clear all the deaths recently of Cutter and Steven have affected them, because Connor goes, no, please, not again, not again, not again. So Jenny almost dies. She leaves. Oh, that's sad. I like Jenny. Then we got, what's after that? Episode 6. Episode 6, probably my favourite episode of this. Actually, no, because episode 3. Okay, apart from episode 3, episode 6 is my favourite episode of the series. You got the team going out into the woods, because the Ark's been taken over by Johnson, who has taken over the Ark. All the Ark crew are now working for her, even though they're secretly sort of tipping off Abby, Connor, Danny, Sarah, Becker starts working for Johnson, although we find out later it's a double cross, because why would Johnson let a vegetable with an IQ of a glove puppet tell her how to run her job? Great line. We got that awesome scene with the song that's been replaced. I have no idea what the original song was, but this song is actually really good. So it's Bill Bayless's Better Man. They're all clapping Lester, and they're all sort of a tribute to Lester. And Johnson's been arrested and taken off. Awesome. Then we have episode 7, which is my least favourite episode of the series, with Tony Curran, who plays Vincent Van Gogh, who is also excellent in this. He gets into a bar fight in a pub, which is hilarious. Coming through to chase what he thinks is a dragon, but it's actually a Dracorex. Sarah goes through to medieval England. We get another scene where music's been replaced because she gets changed in a shopping mall. Shop. And the music's been replaced. Frustrating. Again, have no idea what the original song was, but episode 7, yeah, it's there. I kind of find it boring, although you get Connor come in with a bunch of armed guards to Jack's mate's house, Abby's brother, who's quite annoying, who has stolen Rex and sold it to his mate. Connor comes in and is like, give me Rex, and the guy's being a real dick. He's like, oh, you and whose army? Connor just calls in all the ARC troops, and he's like, this one actually, and he's just like, I'll go get him. And it's like, awesome ending. Then we get episode 8, where Jack goes through an anomaly, and it's quite a serious episode and quite dark because they go to the future, and Abby's pissed at Connor, and then at the end, Abby and Connor kiss, which is a really nice scene, and we get, I don't know if the song's been replaced or not, but it's really good. It's Tony Allen's Stick Around, which is in The Godfather Part 2, then we get episode 9, where it's the rhinos at the camping site, which is a really cool one, and then we get the twist with Eve coming with the future girl Eve, who turns out to be Helen, and she can open and close anomalies at will with her little pad thing, which is really cool, and that's a really cool twist when she twists the thing on the neck and she turns into Helen Cutter. She morphs into Helen Cutter. That's really cool. She takes the ARC hostage again, not for long though, because Danny and Connor and Abby go out. Johnson gets killed through an anomaly. They go out, and Danny's like, we follow her to the end of time if necessary. Awesome, badass ending. Episode 10, it's Danny, Connor and Abby on a harrowing journey, according to this DVD, through time to try and find Helen. Helen dies. Yes, it's so satisfying! With a raptor that pushes her over a cliff. Danny goes, good boy. Although, I'm actually thinking, why didn't that raptor, why doesn't that cause a change of time if a raptor that doesn't come from that era with all the early humans, if that was there, its bones would be there, that would change time. Kind of a plot hole, but blah, 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 blah. Helen's plot to kill the humans doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's good. It's a pretty exciting episode. It ends on a cliffhanger. I remember watching it for the first time, and I was just being like, oh, what? You can't end it there, because it had been cancelled. Series 3 was the last series. So I remember watching it, it's like, what?! My lighting's just crashed. God, it's broke. There we go. You stay there. So I was like, what? And then later we found it got renewed for a Series 4. We'll get that later. Yes. Boy, that was my quick thoughts on each of the episodes of the series. Just to pick out some highlights. That scene with Lester at the end of episode 6 is great. Hold your heads out, be a better man, get slip in the back while you can. Yeah, that's the song that's been replaced, but I don't know, it's good. And I can't find any trace that it has been replaced for the DVD, but I remember it clearly. The original airing had a different song, because I remember really liking it and then getting the DVD and being really confused, but hey, whatever. It's a really cool scene. They're all clapping in slow motion. That's really nice. Also, the episode 6 is the... I don't want to talk about music replacement all the time, but episode 6 has been obliterated because all of the 1920s era music has been completely replaced and changed, and it's really inaccurate now. But hey, whatever. It still does a really good job of setting up that era with the costumes and the sets and the dancing scene. I really like episode 6 a lot. The Terrorbirds are great. It's a really exciting episode. I just love it. But, like, I really like Series 3 a lot, actually. It's not, because it's an end of an era, it's slightly weaker than Series 2. I enjoy it less than Series 2 now, on reflection. But it's still a really quality series. This is still when Primeval was in its prime. Series 1 to 3 are excellent, I think. Next time we run into Series 4, which I've literally just finished rewatching, we get some problems with Series 4, which I'll talk about next time. So I'm really looking forward to sort of dissecting that beast a bit. So yes, what do you think of Series 3? Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care now!